Selassie, Rastafari. So in the first part now, it does show you know what I mean, that thou shalt not have any God beside me. Basically, the first part of this is the Most High affirming himself to I and I, you know. This is not the time for I and I to go astray. You know what I mean? In the real world, right? In the real world, you know, no human being get the worship and the praise like Haile Selassie. In the real world. You know, if you go and check now the different religions of the world, of course, you know, the biggest set of religion is, you know, Christianity and Islam, maybe Buddhism and Hinduism, and them people worship who them a worship. Then you have in Christianity, you have a fella now, a white fella painted on a picture. You know what I mean? Now I will agree, as one priest was saying earlier, you know, most of I and I people caught up in them things there, you know. Most of I and I people in the Sunday worship, most of I and I people, they call on the white picture on the wall. I don't want to call the name, but you know who I'm talking about. You check it? So in reality, most people, you know, worshiping things of the world. Nobody can deny that. They're worshiping other images. You know, they're worshiping all kind of characters that people make up. You understand? So it's reality that most of I and I people worshiping other than the real God. But now, let's look at this realistically now. All them other gods don't even exist. Haile Selassie the first, you know, as a human being, just check it good. They don't have no other human being that get the praises and the worship that Haile Selassie get. I don't mean no religious character that people make up. Not no painting on the wall that man arguing about if this man really exists, where he really born, if he really black. No, let's get real. When it comes to real people that you know historically, then I have nobody in the world that get the worship that Haile Selassie get. Call them here. Nobody. So for example, you have, let's just say, the Nation of Islam. And the Nation of Islam have a man that they say, hey, that man is the Christ. You know? But if you study them good, them man don't really worship him like how I and I worship Haile Selassie. When man kneel long, you know, it's Haile Selassie, man's, you know, Emperor Haile Selassie, the first guy that protect. You understand? So when you scope the earth and you look at it good, you know, it's Emperor Haile Selassie the first embody the most praise that any human being in this time get. So when the Psalm say, daily he shall be praised, and who them talk about? You can bring up the man from the picture again, but he not real. It's a picture, it's Michelangelo paint that. Let's talk about real people. You understand? There are other people, you know, Malachi, York, and some other people there. People praise them and love them and say the man is this and that. But when it come down to the nitty gritty, none of them man right now in no temple now kneeling down to nobody, you know, and praising them, you know. Is we in here worshiping Haile Selassie the first. Enough people on the road hailing Haile Selassie the first. Enough other man that may not be of this fold still praising Haile Selassie the first. So they don't have nobody that walk upon the earth that as a real person that get the amount of praise and worship as a God like Haile Selassie the first. Holy Emmanuel I Selassie Rastafari. That's what they say when you watch them videos about the king, you know, they say, and even those that have him like a God. Now the man that says so, he may not have him like a God, you know, but he recognize that they have a heap of people that have him like a God. They have an interview, They have an interview that people like to pull up to say Haile Selassie say he is not God. And here what the man in the interview say. Here we tell the king, Your Majesty, there are millions of Christians all over the world that have you as the reincarnation of Christ. Now this was in 1960 something, 1970. The man didn't say, Your Majesty, they have some people in Jamaica. Here the man say, Your Majesty, they have millions, there are millions of Christians all over the world. Who them people in? That consider you to be the reincarnation of Christ. So even the kind of praises His Majesty gets, they block all of that away from I and I, so we don't really see the kind of power that the man have in the earth. That's why when the man come to Jamaica, the whole airport have to block down for the eye. Because man and man all over the earth, even in Ethiopia, don't mind them, even in the church, you have to tell me all of them monks and all of them clergy that know the scripture, they recognize that the King of Kings of the Bible with them holy Emmanuel eyes. So this is why the man have to be stern and tell you, you can't worship no other God. You see, you come and open the seals. You can't worship no other God, no other idol, no figurine, none of them things. Because the real God come to you in flesh. And then King Emmanuel, check King Emmanuel too. Nobody get the praises that King Emmanuel get, Just watch it good. A man might fight and say, boy, me don't believe in that. Whether they believe or not, when you put it on the table, Prince Emmanuel as a human being get more praises and worship than any other human being outside there. And just the king and the prince when you really look at it together, So them is man, Them is man. That's what a real man is. A man that make himself God. Whether you believe he God or not, the man make themselves God to the point that in their authority, they demand that people kneel down on the ground and call the name. Holy Emmanuel, Rastafari. Continuing from the 8th verse. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made Zion, heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested on the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie.